Je suis Tarasinta. You can be anything or anyone in your books of life. On est Paris, let the home come, I let this bar, et hit the DA. Imaginez, et rechercher la réponse sans certitude de tous. Full of questions, hesitations, and emotions, filled with doubts, wondered by the future of unexpected life changes, petrified. Keep spinning around, turning wheels that never stops. Wondering, imagine what would be if things come differently. Wisdom of life written in papers with ink. Thousands of years are captured in a hallway full of books. My mind's traveling to paradise, expedition self-defined, agitating of what's next, turning pages to find hands, baby leading to the romance, cast about the extraterrestrials, solving crime like detective, meditating like a Buddhist aspire. Wisdom of life written in papers with ink. Thousands of years are captured in a hallway full of books. Wisdom of life written in papers with ink. Thousands of years are captured in a hallway full of books of life. You can be anything or anyone in your books of life.
Main.
Thank you.
Yes, Tarasinta, that was Books of Life. And welcome back to all of our viewers here on the C Morning Show. Tarasinta, please come on over.
Bonjour.
Ça va? Ça va bien? Merci. Have a seat, by the way. That's all the French I know.
Me too.
Welcome, and thank you for that performance.
Thank you for having me today again.
Yeah, we could have had her on Book Talk because
Right.
her song is related to
Right.
books.
Yes.
All right. So Books of Life. I want to first ask before we talk about the actual song. You basically portray books as a companion for your journey through self-improvement, self-discovery. I have to admit, since the introduction of these things, I lost touch with books, and only over the past couple of years, I've kind of rediscovered my love for books, and I found that it's also helped me kind of better myself as well. But I want to ask you, about, are there any particular books throughout your life and this journey that you speak of that kind of help you throughout your self-discovery and your journey as well?
Yeah, of course, absolutely. So I found this book called Joy of Living as one of the inspiring books that I learned during the pandemic time.
Okay.
So during the pandemic, I listened to a lot of podcasts, and at that time I listened to a podcast where Dian Sastro speak about Joy of Living, where she got inspired. So I was very curious,
Okay.
and I started reading the book as well. And I found that apparently the key of mindfulness is actually by being at the present moment, really living your life at the present moment. Because often, like what we felt during the pandemic time, we are so worried about the future, about the uncertainties of life.
Agreed.
We don't know whether we will live tomorrow or not. So there are a lot of negative thinking, overthinking. So I was wondering how to make my life more meaningful despite all of the negativity. So by learning that book, I really discovered that, oh, apparently we can meditate everywhere. So you don't need to find a quiet place to meditate. It's basically being zen with yourself and trying to feel from all of your senses what's going on, what's happening in your life. When you drink a cup of tea, you really feel the taste of the tea. When you really by yourself, you really enjoy being by yourself. So I think I really learned my self-discovery journey through that book. So that book really helps me a lot.
And has inspired you now to put that out through a song.
Yeah.
I mean, listening to your song, I felt that I could meditate. I felt like when I was listening to Books of Life, when we just, when you perform, I was feeling like I was in Paris, in a cafe, drinking my cup, drinking my hot cocoa.
I've been in Paris a few times
chocolate.
lately, and it's kind of bringing
And I
back
was like,
memories.
oh my gosh, this bring back memories. But when you were, making this song and also writing this song, what kind of other discovery, what unexpected discovery that you made because through you with Books of Life?
Yeah. So I start realizing when writing the song, when writing the lyrics, I just realized that book is apparently a big part of my life.
Okay.
That it helps me throughout my journey discovering myself. And I think it's for everybody. Like we start from kids, we learn how to write, how to read, and also reading children books, fairy tale. And then in the adulthood, we learn how to navigate ourselves through magazine, maybe with romance and I don't know. There are different things that we can learn from books, and getting more adult, we start reading novels, and then maybe more towards your career, you would like to develop yourself, so you learn self-discovery through books, self-improvement, so you got different type of perspective about the world. You learn about philosophy, religion, all kinds of things from books. So I just realized apparently books is a very big deal of my life, but I take it for granted until I start writing the book and I start realizing, wow, book has such a meaningful place in our life actually. It educates ourselves with a lot of knowledge, and even more important, when we are able to practice it through our life, then it becomes more meaningful. So
Yeah, I like it that when you said we're taking it for granted sometimes, right? Where we're just reading and skimming on the book, but we didn't really apply it to our lives.
Now, obviously, you drew inspiration for Books of Life through your experience with books, but you have to portray that through audio, through sound, and I'm sure you want people to be able to capture the feeling that you got.
Exactly.
So it's really hard to describe. Our producers described it as a waltz mixed with French pop vibe.
Yes.
Is that accurate?
Yeah, exactly. So the tempo is 3/4, which
Okay.
is quite uncommon.
Yes.
A little bit idealistic for Indonesian pop music.
Right.
But I just really want to pour my heart out and try to express it with the way how the music should feel like. The mood should be calm, should be really relaxing. There are a lot of hesitations in our life, but I want to capture this hesitation through petrified, like unexpected life. So we try to put it in a very calm waltz mixed with French pop. And if I write the song with starting with French, I think it will sound more like romantic. But on the other hand, it's also like you have a lot of mixed feeling
Yes.
within yourself. So it built up the dynamics even more, hopefully.
And you know, you mentioned meditation.
Yeah.
I'm a DJ, you know. Sometimes we get
Yeah.
overpowered with sounds.
Yes.
Yeah.
With that song, I heard every little nuance of the instrument
Correct.
and your voice as well. There was
Yes.
when your voice came in and when it went faded in and out.
Yes.
You hear everything, and when you talk about being mindful, that's what it's all about, right? It's about
Exactly.
noticing every detail and enjoying every part of it. And I felt that through that song.
And I felt like I'm listening to Carla Bruni and Vanessa Paradis, and then we have Tarasinta here, right?
Carla Bruni as well.
So, of course, you also have been collaborated with many great Indonesian musicians. We have Enda and Reza, and we can
Amazing.
also felt that kind of vibes. Also, Jesse Mates. Do you have any memorable moments, you know, especially collaborating and working with them?
Yeah, well, it's really such an honor for me to work with them at the first place. I mean, they are really, really talented musicians working with a lot of other famous artists already. So I'm very honored to work with them. One of the very exciting and surprising moment was when we take the recording of the percussion in Mas Reza studio. So I started crying when Jesse Mates played the instrument, because he played like very, very mild and towards like a little bit louder, like, you know, like when you do with the brush cooking.
Yes.
It's very melodramatic. When you combine that with all the other voices of the instruments,
Yeah.
it's like embracing the whole song. So I just start realizing, wow, it's like raining. And I listened to my own song, and it captured everything that I really wanted. So
Right.
it really entangled all of the music together. So I really appreciate that moment, and I started crying and crying and crying. And Mbak Enda say, "Oh, so cute that you are crying when Jesse Mates is actually playing the drum, not the piano."
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why, but it's just embrace everything all together. So
And then Reza shared a similar story about writing a song where one of them actually cried during a process, and actually that's a sign that it's something good was created, because if it can pull that emotion out of you, it's a good thing.
Yes.
And they said it's part of the process. You know, you mentioned wanting to encapsulate everything in your song. This and your music, especially this song, is about encapsulating and introspecting within yourself.
Exactly.
When you do that, you want to really kind of share the exact right feeling and moment. But sometimes that can be challenging because you don't want it, you know, it's hard to describe your feelings through a song. Throughout the process of making this song, did you encounter any of those challenges, and how did you overcome it? Because sometimes it's really hard to express a feeling just through words or sounds.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I started writing in music, so it was quite
The music first is
the
your
music
process.
first. So I tried to build the mood by listening to Bruno Major's Regent's Park. It's kind of like bring the mood on that level, and then after having the good mood, I start writing the music. Actually, the process of writing the music is quite smooth. So I think I start at night, and then by midnight I already finished with the music. And when writing the lyrics, I really try to imagine books like living into the paradise. So you travel your minds into paradise, and everything just comes naturally. Like you're really telling the joy, the experience of the joy reading a book. And I think that what I found surprising was it was actually not very hard. So I think by 3 a.m. in the morning,
Really? It took
already
just
finished the
one
song.
Wow.
It's like just one take. And it was usually not that easy,
Yeah.
but this time, because maybe it's very close to my heart,
It's organic, it comes from you.
it comes from me and from books that is very personal and very close, and it really helps me a lot. So I really want to put my heart into it and really want people to really relate to it. That's why maybe it comes quite naturally.
And do you
Alright.
feel completely happy with the way that it encapsulates how you felt when you made the
Yes,
song?
surprisingly I found that it's not too much, it's not too little,
Yes.
it's just right.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
How is your creating process though by writing the songs? Because this is not, I mean, you have Books of Life before in 2021, you have Cherish, you have Suffocate in 2023, you have Wondering also in the same year, Summer in France in 2024, now Books of Life. How's your creating, how's the writing process in regards to all those songs for you?
Yeah, I have been, it's quite a long journey, I must say. I started writing Dark Dark. The first thing I found there, it's a little bit of blues and folk. And now my music is more like bossa nova,
So
French
it's like
pop.
shifting.
It's shifting,
Yes.
but it's actually
True.
evolving with me.
Correct.
Through my journey of
Yes.
life, like during that time from 2016, I think, until now, 2024, I met a lot of people. I travel, I study, and during my study, I met a lot of people from different culture, from
Yes.
Brazil, from Latin America. I was in France, UK, Germany, and at the end, I was in the Netherlands. Then I back in Indonesia, so I get a lot of mixed culture flavor.
Right?
And I try to pour that into my music. So I don't really specify myself in one specific genre,
Right,
but I
yes.
really want to show it that, yeah, every musician have their own taste, their own music that they just produced, came out from all of these characteristic of themselves, like
Yeah.
from all of the experience through their life and the genre that they are listening to. And it becomes like this, pop influenced by bossa nova, jazz.
But how's the feedback from your fans though? Have they ever like said to you, no, Tara, like I really like it when your voice or the flavor of the vibe, like more into like let's say
certain
bossa
way.
nova. Yes,
Yeah.
like putting you into a box. Have you ever had that feedback before? Or maybe like all your followers and friends just love going through your journey and the process where you are right now?
Yeah, well, some people like the cherry song because it's about like being grateful. So, like the core of the song lyrics, they really like it. But they also appreciate the journey that I took until now. That I start being more confident while singing and performing, and I think it captivates the audience even
Yes.
more. So they realize that bossa nova is really in my core right now. That it felt like it really belongs to you, Tara. So you can do it a little bit more effortlessly
Yeah.
compared to maybe before. So I hope it shows that I hope that I'm growing at least.
Yes.
And I agree
Developing.
because music evolves, and I think musicians should be allowed to evolve with
course.
it because we can't keep you in one particular
Yes.
genre. So real quick, because this song touched me personally, hit a nerve in a good way. Because Carol can attest to this. We share book titles with each other, like, hey, you got to read this book
Yes.
because it's going to change your life.
Yeah.
With other colleagues as well. How about you, others out there that have listened to the song? Have they shared with you how this song has
yeah.
actually helped them in any way?
Yes, there's one precious moment when we had our sharing session in a little cute bookstore called Pos Santa.
Oh, perfect.
Maybe you know, in
Yes,
Pasar
absolutely.
Santa. The owner is my friend.
Okay.
So when I shared the story about the song, I performed the song, he actually started almost crying. He was very touched by someone who actually can really tell a story about the bookstore. He owned a bookstore, he write a book, and he felt that, wow, there is a song that represents my bookstore, and the importance of book for me is the same like her, like it's radiant.
relatable, right.
So it's very relatable for him, and he was like, almost crying, and I can felt like that is emotional for him, and he was touched by my music, and he said something that also struck me actually. He said that he would suggest that other people, other bookstore can listen to this song as well, so that they can really feel how much appreciative I could be to represent them by writing this bookstore in a different way, in different landscape, in different points of view.
I understand, because as a bookstore owner, sometimes you just sell the book and you see it go, but you don't see how it's impacting those that have been
Yes.
reading these books. And it's actually a thankless job to own a bookstore
Of
sometimes. Sarah, we're going to keep you here because we have another performance coming
Yes,
up
that's
next year on the
right. We're so
program.
blessed.
That's right, yes. I was going to say, take it away.
All right, so we're taking a short break right now, but our second guest, ADIVA ADELIA, will perform her debut single also right here on the C Morning Show, so please don't go anywhere. Tarasinta will still be here with us.